Hi everyone and welcome to our final edition of The Crows Show for 2018, brought to you by Foodland. I'm Mark Bickley.
And I'm Alana Smith. Yes, I can't believe where the past 5 months have gone, but for the first time in 4 years, the Crows unfortunately miss out on the finals.
And in today's show, we'll review what's been a disappointing season, and with the help of the coach and the captain, we'll look to better times in 2019.
And we'll also cast an eye over the draft. The Crows' prospects certainly look promising.
But first, Don Pyke will no doubt look back on a year of missed opportunities, patchy form and wretched injuries. Together with other members of the football department, he'll now begin a thorough review of the team's performance. So, how does he weigh up 2018 and how does he approach the off-season for next year?
It obviously has been a disappointing and frustrating year. We came into the season with high hopes, and unfortunately we're not going to play through September. So yeah, there's been some positives out of the season.
Rory Sloan, and this will top it off. He's doing the goose step to celebrate.
We'll assess the program in terms of what areas we want to focus on going forward, and that's a fair body of work to be done around not only our physical side of our program, our training side, our strength, our conditioning, all those things are in the hopper as to what it looks like. That all goes into it, and then we allocate our time out as to where we want to spend the time to get better. So that process will be pretty fulsomely done.
All right.
Good plan. You're in. All right.
Thank you, mate.
Well, that's one of the real joys of coaching, is that you get the opportunity to bring these young guys into the side and see them perform and achieve their aim of playing AFL footy to start with, and then once they've got through that excitement of the first game, they get an opportunity to do it regularly. And as I say, some of the growth of the individuals I mentioned previously has been fantastic, and it's one of the joys of my job, is to tell a guy he's playing his first game and then present him his jumper with his parents there, and the pride that they have and the excitement the whole family has about them playing is as I say, one of the best parts of what I do.
Well, in the Crows' 28-year history, this is the 13th time that they've missed the finals. Mark, how do you judge the season?
Yeah, when you think about the expectations we came into the year with coming off the grand final last year, it's hard to say anything else but a fail, isn't it, really? And the season never really got off the ground, and here we are at the end of the season and not playing in September. Indeed.
What have we learned?
Well, I think what we have learned is that pre-seasons are so important. If you look at the injuries that we had throughout the year and the amount of pre-season that a lot of the players missed, that lack of continuity just never allowed the side to get any sort of groove going.
What do you see as some of the holes that need to be filled in the lineup?
I think there's certainly Sam Jacobs needs support in the ruck. He's now approaching 30. It looked like physically his body took a toll over the year, so he needs some support. I think the other thing we need as well is some speed. I think that is becoming a commodity which is really important in AFL footy, and I think we can look forward to some opportunities in the draft in that regard.
Are there any positives that you can see to take out of this season?
Yeah, look, I wrap the fact that there's 5 young players who debuted for the club, so that's a really good sign. Tom Dudo, what an outstanding year he's had, and I think the last half of the year when Wayne Miller went to half back, he showed real confidence, and I feel like he's going to be an outstanding player for a long time for the club.
And who's your pick for the gold jacket this year?
Well, Rory Laird, hard to go past him, isn't it? He's just been a sensation across half back, averaging over 30 possessions a game. He'll be All-Australian again this year and should be the standout player for the Crows.
All right, thanks very much for that, Mark. And of course, the Crows Club Champion Award will be held on Friday night, August 31st. So to follow the count and hear what everyone has to say, go to afc.com.au and tune in to our live stream. And later in the show, the fans will have their say on who should win the award. Now, on the brighter side, the Crows can certainly look forward to the AFL draft with optimism. It's become a major media event with national TV coverage over 2 nights, as well as live pick trading. Many good judges rate this year's draft as the best in years, and at this stage, Adelaide has 3 picks inside the top 20. So we asked the AFL's Kevin Sheehan to assess the club's chances.
Well, it's going to be very exciting because the whole of the first round only will take place on the first night, and clubs will be allowed 5 minutes or up to the 5 minutes for their picks. So that brings in live trading on the night, which is going to be super exciting, allowing clubs to put a package together potentially to creep up the draft order. And then the next day, the wait will be over for all those that have nominated, and each year more than 1,500 are in the mix to be drafted. They'll find out the next day when the remaining rounds take place and the rookie draft.
That is exactly what the recruiters are here.
Well, I'd just say that this top 20, this first round, is going to be sensational. The credentials or the CVs of these boys that we've seen or the clubs have seen over the last 3 years are pretty special. And there's a good mix between the key position, the midfielders, the goal kickers.
Lukosius did well to Rankin. Goal coming up.
Yeah, certainly Jack Lukosius is a chance to go number one. He's the tall forward that can play tall defence as well at 194 centimetres. Some people have likened him to Nick Revolt, a guy that his leading patterns are fantastic up forward. He's got a great burst of speed so he can get off his opponent, as does Isaac Rankin. He's got some Eddie Betts about him. He can do the freakish thing in the air and at ground level. He set alight the final of the Under-18 Nationals this year with 5 goals. He was brilliant and a back-to-back All-Australian.
When Alana returns after the break, we'll hear how the Doc is tackling his next assignment as the Crows AFLW coach.
Well, when Brodie Smith reflects on 2018 and his months of rehab and recovery, I'm sure he'll remember how the club's youngest members helped distract him with their amusing chats. There were certainly plenty of laughs, so with the help of Thomas Farms, let's recall some of the funniest moments.
You ready, Sonny Ball?
Yeah.
There you go, mate. Good work.
Thanks.
Did good. Welcome to Junior Jam, brought to you by Thomas Farms. This week we've got Jaden. This week we've got Connor. This week we've got Archie. Welcome, Archie.
Hello, I'm Archie.
First of all, I'm going to have to get you to stand up. Can you show the camera the back of your Guernsey? Miss you, Charlie. And who's your favourite player?
You.
Oh,
yeah,
me?
actually you. I'm
Awesome.
not even kidding.
You sure you're not just saying that for the camera?
No, I'm actually not saying
Thanks.
that.
And who's your favourite player?
Roulette.
Wow. What about second favourite? Any defenders or?
Brodie Smith.
Yeah, good answer. What's the grossest thing you can think of?
Me putting my head in the toilet.
What about what's something gross your brothers have done?
Put on the grass.
If you went to the zoo and you could take an animal home, what would it be and how would you take it?
Oh yeah, I might take a hippopotamus.
I would steal a snow leopard.
Monkey. A pig. Penguin.
How are you going to get the monkey?
I'll get a taser and taser him. Punch the zookeepers.
If you walked into your room when you get home tonight, would you rather find 10,000 spiders or a tiger?
I think a tiger.
Why?
Because they're easy.
They're easy. Just lure it into your brother's room maybe.
Yeah,
Make him deal with it.
And then just let him eat them.
So who are you going to take out of the midfield so you can play?
Atkins.
Atkins. Oh, you didn't even think about it. Cop that, right? Who does that look like?
Rory left?
Yeah. Can you keep a secret?
Yes.
Can you tell me a secret?
I have a crush.
So you didn't keep your secret? If you had $1 million, what would you spend it on?
Putty and squishies.
Excuse me? And if you had, last one, if you had wings, where would you fly?
Over to your house.
Fair enough. All right, thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Good work.
That was inappropriate.
No, I can see you. What?
Smithers, you're king of the kids. Now, the third season of AFLW has already provoked plenty of controversy and it's still 5 months away. So, Matty Clark has much to think about as he switches from the men's ruck coach to taking charge of the women's team and making them a finals force again. In a nail-biting grand final, the Crows won the inaugural 2017 Premiership. The new coach is optimistic for 2019.
We've got a great list. Obviously, in year one, they showed their potential with obviously winning the competition. Last year, we came off the pace a little bit, but we've been able to retain the bulk of our squad, and we're really confident with the list that we've assembled.
He expects a fully fit Aaron Phillips and co-captain Chelsea Randall will again be critical to the team's chances, but
a number of the really good players in season 2 were actually new players into the competition, so I think what we'll find over this season and coming seasons is that next wave of talent coming through is going to be really important in how we go within the competition.
Coaches will have only 3 months to work with the squad before the first game in early February.
So we've got to do a lot of fitness in that period, but also really important that we work on their skills. So AFLW in its 3rd year, and the skill levels improved dramatically over the first 2 years, but we think we can make a really big gain in that area as well.
The Crows have 5 selections in the October draft and will look to those who starred in the SANFL competition. They must also recruit 2 from other sports such as netball and basketball.
But in terms of intent, enthusiasm, approach to training, the women's team is outstanding, and so I've really been enjoying that process.
Well, the women's team is certainly in good hands there with Doc. Well, that 2-game suspension for Taylor Walker capped off what's been a forgettable season for the skipper. And we'll hear from Tex after the break.
Captaincy brings not only the responsibility of leadership, but also greater scrutiny of performance. So it's been a tough year all round for Taylor Walker, finally ending with suspension. In this chat, brought to you by Revolution Roofing, the skipper looks back on a frustrating season.
It's a 15-point win to the GWS Giants, and that is the end of the Adelaide Crows' final chances of 2018.
Beaten and battered, a season that held such promise never got going.
We had some hiccups through our pre-season, if you talk about injuries, and obviously going away on camp created a bit of outside noise, but definitely a very challenging year.
Taylor Walker at 85% is not a good player.
I'm saying it looked like his effort wasn't there.
And the skipper admits his own season mirrored that of his team.
I've obviously come in off a limited pre-season, which anyone that knows, it's very hard to play consistently, train consistently throughout the year, and obviously had a couple of hamstrings and a bit of back issue.
So where does the team need to improve to return as a force in 2019?
Contest, we need to improve that, get up in the top 4, and obviously our attack needs to get better as well, and our defensive side is probably, we've lacked a little bit of that as well this year.
High ball, Walker, the skipper in the defensive goal square.
Tex can't wait to put the disappointments behind him and no doubt prove his doubters wrong.
I'm definitely setting myself up for a big off-season, which will allow me to leapfrog into the pre-season and stay fit and healthy, and believe that I can still play some really good footy.
Taylor Walker, now's his chance. Oh, fantastic football instincts.
He says the blooding of several new players in 2018 will help set up the club for the next 10 years. And there were other positives.
I've really enjoyed Josh Jenkins' year. I think his second half of the year he's finished off really well, and Daniel Talia down backs until he got injured has played an outstanding year. I think Bryce Gibbs has come over and played some really good footy, Matt Crouch.
And for disappointed fans, a note of optimism.
We're not far away. We lost 6 games under 3 goals, so we're not far away.
I'm sure with a much better pre-season under his belt, the old Tex will be back in 2019. This year we've celebrated the great high flyers of our game, from Davies to Dietrich, Burton to Blight. Today we go out with someone who's remembered as much for his shorts and his hair as he is for his remarkable grabs, Warwick Capper. With the help of Flight Centre, let's check out his 1987 Mark of the Year.
Capper at the back, got the simple mark, what a grab! Capper climbs and marks spectacularly!
Right, we're 95 points down. I just kicked my 5th goal, so I was still excited. Went up early. It was Warwick Capper. It was like time stood still. And I was just sitting there for about 3 seconds, or probably an hour and a half. Fell asleep, woke up, just about to take it. I got a phone call. Ran off the bench, it was air traffic control. They said 747 approaching, can you get to the airspace, Warwick? I said, let me take Mark a decade first.
Oh, what a mark! Oh, he sort of hung over the back and the ball fell into his hand.
That was poetry in motion. Kicked the goal straight through. Only 91 points down after that.
Capper's got to sit here, and look at him go, what a mark!
One over Laurie Serafini, kicked 6 on him, had a bad day. One over Frawley, kicked 4 in the first quarter, he wasn't happy. Give him a bit of a kick in the head and boom, love Mick Martin and Danny Hughes, they both had bad heads, they had good heads of radio, so I made them worse. Give him a little knee in the head.
Oh, look at that! Hey, Capper!
I did take 7 a week for 11 years, let's be serious. I won that many cars and that many marks of the year. Had my own car yard.
Capper at the back of the pack, flies, Cappuccinos, you beauty.
Bang, straight up the ground, that's the way to go. Capper!
So it was a good time for me, and it's good that people could refer back to it, and at least I left my name in the game, I think, a little bit.
Capper was footy's highest paid player in the 80s, flamboyant on the field as much as he was off. The modern day player, though, is so different. And after the break, we'll examine the attributes they need to succeed.
Well, the AFL is still expected to announce rule changes in the near future, reflecting, in the eyes of some, just how much the game has transitioned in recent years. The modern player has to be multi-dimensional. So in this segment, Toyota Hybrid Heroes, Crows players have told us whose skills and attributes they'd like to add to their game.
The kick looks really good. Well done.
The best hybrid player in the game is Jeremy Howe. He's got an amazing leap, obviously be able to take great contested marks. Yeah, it's a real asset for him.
Dangerfield snap. Geelong are within 3.
I'd probably take Danger's speed and power to be able to burst out of congestion and run away from blokes. That's what I'd love to be able to do that.
And he kicks the goal.
Now, while it's been a mediocre season, there are a few players who've stood out and are in line for the Club Champion Award. So, who do the fans think it should go to?
Oh, I reckon Bryce Gibbs or Rory Laird. They've both been pretty solid this year. Rory Sloan.
Gibbs. Betts.
Bryce Gibbs.
I reckon Rory Laird will easily take it out this year. Been consistent all year and just carving it up every week.
Okay, we need one more face in the crowd. Who's going to be the lucky last to win a merchandise pack from Toyota? I think it has to be you. If you recognise yourself, contact the club by 5 p.m. on Wednesday and have some photo ID to show us.
As we wrap up the show for another year, remember to always check out the club website afc.com.au.
Yeah, you'll also find full episodes of The Crows Show and Footy Plus.
And don't forget Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
Well, thanks for your company today and all through the season. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the show.
Yes, Alana, we've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you and look forward to joining you again next season in 2019.
We leave you with some of the year's lighter moments.
Bye for now. His silky ball movement. Sorry, silky ball movement, that's not quite right. Angus Monfries out behind us. Sorry, no, it's not going to be behind us, is it?
What, in the bookshelf?
Yeah, in the bookshelf. Sound like Ron Burgundy, did I?
I know I got that right. Yeah.
Good. That's a wrap.